Hi all, this is the first in a short series of screencasts I'm going to do to explain how to use the rubrics tool in our latest edition of D2L. So I'm in a class right now and I'm going to add a rubric to the class. I do have some rubrics created for the class already, but I'm going to make a new one so you can see the whole process. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out what your rubric is going to be. And I'm going to name this one test, just so that it has a name. Usually I fill in the description field just so that I remember what the rubric is about. This D2L asks you whether you want an analytic rubric, which allows you to assign points, or a holistic rubric. We're going to leave it as analytic for now. We're going to have two levels for our rubric. We're also going to have two criteria for our rubric. And we're going to put it as custom points, or points, so that it can do some scoring for us. Now, there are some differences between points and custom points. If you have questions about that, you can read the documentation for the tool. Then we're going to edit the levels and criteria. And you do that by clicking this drop-down arrow, which allows you these options. You can add criteria above, below, just add criteria in general, or edit. So for level 2, I'm going to make this A. For level 1, I'm going to make it F. And we're going to call our first criterion wealth, and our second criterion beauty. And save those. Okay, now you can see we have a grid here. We don't, however, have any descriptions to help students understand what it means to get an A under wealth and an F under wealth, and same with beauty. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this criterion as well. And in this editing screen, it allows you to see what the performance level, the score point for the criterion is, as well as provide a description that students can read, and then some feedback is an additional comment that students get if they received that score point and can see its description. So for an A under wealth, I'm just going to put millionaire. And under F, I'm going to put poverty-stricken. Or dirt poor. Because this is a horrible example and I have a horrible sense of humor. Alright, so for the feedback that students receive under those two score points, for millionaire, I'm going to provide a good description or some good solid feedback for that level of performance, and say congratulations. And the same thing under F, our score point F. Okay. And then save both the description and the feedback by clicking the Save button. You want to do the same thing for beauty. Okay, I fixed my second criterion, so now we can see that beauty has two different score points as well, both gorgeous and homely. I'm going to go back to the Properties tab, since all my changes are saved, and I want to change this to Published. You can also do that on the Rubrics page, on the Rubrics List page. We'll take a look at that now too. You can always change the level, or I'm sorry, change the status of the rubric using this Set Status tool. Change it from draft to published or archived. If it's archived, though, it's going to disappear from your list and you have to do an advanced search to look for it. So just keep it as either draft or published. Our rubric now is published. You can see that in this right-hand column. It's analytic and it's based on points. and we've got the description of the rubric in this column. So now what's left to do is to connect that rubric to a Dropbox folder. This is a live course, so if anybody logs in and sees this right now, they're probably going to be distressed, but oops, I need to edit this folder. And this is a change from our latest edition. This rubrics tab used to be up here under activities. That's where you would add the rubric. Now it happens right here. So click on the add rubric button. There are only 2 published rubrics available, so I'm going to go ahead and use our test rubric. Add selected, and save this item. Okay, this is a little bit of a different view. I paused there for a moment, went back to the home screen and changed roles. So now I'm looking at the course as a student. When I go to submit a file to the Dropbox, I see this rubric. So the expectations for the assignment are very clear on the front, or on the assignment Dropbox folder page. The upload file, the add a file button, and the submit buttons are right where they were before, but this is a difference too. The students didn't necessarily see this right here before. So I just wanted to walk you through that one part with using that rubric for adding a rubric to a course or to a Dropbox folder. I'll come back and in the next video I'll tell you a little bit more about using the rubric for assessment.